Okay, children, you're welcome to another episode of our series, The A to Z of Money. Before we go ahead, Wisdom and Leo, can you remember what we talked about in our past classes? Anything you can remember, just share with us. Anything you can remember from our past classes, I will appreciate. From A, B, C, and D. A means what?
I remember talking about assets. Asset is anything that you own that gives you more money. B for budget. Budget is a plan that helps you know what to spend your money on before it comes. L for liquidity. How quickly you can turn something into money or cash.
That's powerful. That's powerful. That's powerful.
Value is your contribution to a meeting or project where you get paid in return.
Wow.
Thank you, sir.
Wow. That's awesome. I did that all of wisdom. Collect 1,000, and you are going to give me his account number for me to send it into. Let's practice what we are preaching. So, Wisdom, tell your daddy to send me your account number. Let me send you 1,000 naira. What Wisdom was talking about was the very first class we had, where we ran down a quick rundown of A to Z of money. I think that video is on our YouTube channel where you can watch it and all of that. Before we now decided to sit down and do a deep dive, and then we're now beginning to break it down A, B, C, D. So the last time we stopped at D. So, Leo, you want to tell me what you can remember outside what Wisdom already said?
A is for assets. Assets are things that can generate for you more, that can generate for you income. B for budget. C for, I cannot really remember C, but D for diversification.
So what's diversification? It's all right. It's all right. You tried, but you did not win my money because most of the things you said were things that Wisdom already said. The one that you said that was different is diversification, but you couldn't say much about it. Diversification. Okay, I think it's on this slide. Let me just go back to it. So we do that briefly before we continue. So look at what we said about diversification. Before we go to our today's session, no. Okay, no, sorry. So we talked about diversification as allocating investment across various asset classes like stocks, bonds, real estate to minimize the impact of any single asset performing poorly. What does that mean? In simple words, if you want to remember diversification as children, just remember that word that said, do not put all your eggs in one basket. Meaning, if you have many eggs, put some in the fridge, put some in the dining, put some in the bedroom. So if anything happens to the egg in the dining, the one in the fridge is safe. So the same thing you do with money. You either put some of your money in stocks or put some in bonds, put some in real estate. Then we now talk about different diversification strategy. We talk about industry diversification, meaning you can invest in agricultural industry, invest in real estate, which is property, then invest maybe in business. So if one is not working, the other one will cover up for the one that is not working. That's the strategy of diversification, diversifying your investment. Then we talk about diversifying along asset classes, which speaks to what I've talked about: stocks, shares, real estate, and all of that. Then geographical diversification. You can invest in Nigeria, invest in businesses in UK, invest in businesses in the US. Now we talk about the fact that there are applications that make that possible. So what does that mean? If businesses in Nigeria is not working too well, the one in US may be doing well, the one in UK may be doing well. All of this is to make sure you minimize the risk that goes on with your investment. So that was what we said about diversification. So let's come back to today's class. Today's session, we are dealing with EFGH. This is section 2, the EFGH of money. So but before we go, I have a video that I need us to listen to. For us parents, especially those of you that are here to sign up for the So today we're jumping into E, and E stands for emergency fund. Children, when you hear the word emergency, do you know what it means? Emergency is like rush, things you did not plan for. Oh, is the sound okay now? Okay. Wisdom, let me hear you. When you hear the word emergency, what comes to mind? Hand is up. That's what I'm asking. Emergency. Okay, let me go on.
An emergency is something you need to do that is very important and urgent.
Something you need to do that is important and urgent. So at some point in life, there will be some things that comes up that are very important and urgent. At the time where everything is okay, that's the time where it is expected that you put funds aside to take care of the time where there will be some emergencies that you may not have prepared for. So the money you put aside to take care of the unexpected is what is called emergency fund. Emergency fund. So today we are talking about emergency fund. What's an emergency fund? Money saved for an unexpected event. Money saved for an unexpected event. Imagine children playing in the house and all of a sudden there's an injury because they pushed themselves, there's an injury. And parents never really prepared to say, oh, let's put this money aside to take care of such emergency, rushing to the hospital unplanned. There should be that fund where you can quickly look up to and take care of those things that you never planned for. So even for you as children, you should be putting money aside for emergency. And most times, emergency doesn't necessarily mean something negative. It could be an emergency for somebody else. You remember last time when we talked generally about this whole thing, we talked about how you can take the money that you have saved and quickly use it to take advantage of something that is an emergency for somebody else. Because you have the fund, you are able to buy something that would have been expensive at a cheaper rate because you have savings. So sometimes emergency can be positive. It could be an emergency for somebody else, and that person wanting to now quickly make liquid. I'm happy that wisdom reminds us of the word liquidity. That person is not trying to transfer an asset that they already have into liquid cash. Because you have your money saved away as an emergency fund, you can quickly use it to take advantage of such things. So an emergency fund is that money we put aside. An emergency fund is a financial safety net. That's why if you look at the design before us, I called it an umbrella. I looked for an umbrella logo because it's like a net. An emergency fund is the fund that will protect you from begging when the unexpected event happens. Children, you must understand, when you beg, you get the list of what is available. So you must live life in a way that you never find yourself in a state where you have to beg. Even God did not ask us to beg him. He said, ask and it shall be given. When you are asking your father for something, you are not begging. You are asking with confidence. He's your father. He has that responsibility towards you. But when you beg, begging has a way of demeaning somebody. It has a way of making somebody feel less than himself. So to avoid that kind of situation, you must have funds set aside for such times that you may not have planned for. There is this 3-6-9 rule of emergency fund. This will apply more to us as adults. For instance, it is said that as a business person, as a worker, if you want to save emergency fund, try to save 3 months. For instance, if you do your budgeting, you know what it will cost to run your house for a month. If that is 200,000 for daddies and mommy, I'm talking to you now, it is expected that you have at least 3 months' salary saved up. 3 months of your expense. So if you spend 200,000 to run your house, it is expected that you have at least 600,000 in one account that you don't touch. That's your emergency fund. Or you have 9 months income. It is said that, it is broken down here. It's a guideline. This 3-6-9 guideline for emergency fund said, save 3 months of your expense if you are single, if you are yet to marry. Save 6 months of your expense if you have dependents, daddies and mommies. Children are depending on us. Daddy, wife is depending on you. Mommy, daddy, and children are looking up to you. So as a family, we must have that income somewhere that can take care of our family for 6 months. Then he now went for that to say that you should save up to 9 months if your income is irregular. People like us that do business that may not have that fixed income coming from a salary job, you're doing business. There are times your business does so well. There is that time where the salary you ordinarily will earn in a year, you earn it in one contract. It is expected. That's not the time to begin to buy frivolous things. It is at that time you put aside the cost that can run your house for 9 months, because you know that this money doesn't come that often. So for you children, you should also do well to save for emergency. Imagine if there's a time, I don't know whether I shared this story. A young man, a young boy, small chap like that, somewhere around 8, 9, thereabouts, followed the mother to a training that we were doing in our office. He saw Karen's book. I was interested in getting the book. I told him, I said, the book is 3,000, go and tell your mommy. He said, my mommy does not have money. I felt bad about that comment, that the parents do not have money. It's not even an issue. It happens to all of us once in a while. But that the children are conscious of the fact that the parents do not have money is not good. And I called the mother. I said, your son said he likes this book, and I asked him to buy it, but he said that you do not have money. Is that true? Yeah, he said possibly. He heard me when I asked the father for money, and the father said he doesn't have. I said, okay. While we were having that conversation, the boy walked up to us and told the mom. He said, I want to buy the book with my money. I looked at the boy, I looked at the mom. I said, does he have money? He said, yeah. I asked him, how much do you have? He said, I have 15,000. That book is 3,000. I said, okay, tell mommy to send 1,000 from your money. I will add 2,000, then you take the book. Why did I do that? I wanted to just let something leave him. That's value. Let something leave him in exchange for the book. But because he has savings that he can use in a time of emergency now, of a book that he knows will be valuable to him, he got that book for 1,000 instead of 3,000. So that's where we all as children, if you always have money saved up, there are always opportunities you can take that may not be available to somebody who doesn't have money saved up. So let's go to F. F is the word frugality. Frugality. If you see the picture we have there, we took scissors and we are cutting costs. Cutting costs. Frugality means cut your cost. Cut down your costs. Spend more on your needs and spend less on your wants. Because truth is, economists say human wants are insatiable. It means human wants cannot be fully satisfied, but not human needs. I think in the course of we running down that conversation, we also talked about the difference between needs and wants. Needs are the things you depend on for survival. Wants are the things that you just fancy. It's not a must-have. It's a good to have. It's good to have it, but if you don't have it, nothing will happen. So those things, you must cut down on them. Frugality is the quality of being economical with money. What does that mean? See, I always like to maintain the real definition of these conversations on the screen. Then I will now do my best to break it down to the understanding of the children, because what we are doing here is both for parents and children. So frugality is the quality of being economical with money or any resources. Remember, we mentioned other resources outside money. We mentioned time, energy, attention, and money. You must be frugal. You must be economical with how you spend your time. I was having a conversation with my children and I told them, any man, any woman that is called to greatness cannot be available to everybody all the time. There must be a time where people say, no, don't disturb wisdom. Wisdom is reading. Don't disturb Leo. At this time, Leo is reading. Leo is focused on this, so don't disturb him. You know, people must know you for your time, how you manage your time. You know, it's about avoiding waste and extravagance, focusing on getting the most value for what you spend. When you spend your time, get the most value from it. When you spend your energy, get the most value from it. When you pay attention to something, make sure you pay full attention so you get the most value from it. Then your money, spend your money more on needs and cut off wants. Before you buy anything, children, I want you guys to practice this. Before you buy anything, ask yourself, is this a need or a want? How do you know? Without this thing, can I survive? If your answer is yes, it's not a need. If you just like to buy sweets, without sweets you can survive. You need food at home to eat. Instead of you to spend your money to buy sweets, say, mommy, I'm hungry, daddy, I'm hungry, can I have food? Know the time apportioned for eating. Eat at that time and forget about those snacks. Once in a while, you can choose to eat those things, but don't let it become a constant thing. It's wasteful. So in talking about frugality, we're talking about spending wisely. The Bible said something. It said there is much food in the land of the wise. He said, but the fool squanders it all. The fool, and I think he calls it the fool or the poor, which means there is a wise person always have much. It means how much you have is an indication of how wise you are. How much you have is an indication of how wise you are, according to Bible. He said there is much food in the land of the wise, but the fool squanders his own, squanders everything, spends everything, and we have justification for them. So children, when uncles give you money, when aunties give you money, the first thing you should be thinking about is, how can this money become double? When we come to investment, we're going to talk about that. We'll come to how can this 200 naira, 2,000 naira that uncle gave to me, how can it become 4,000 from 2,000? If you are thinking along that line, you are already doing it. Whether you have invested it or not, that you are thinking like that, you are already in the right path. So that's that about frugality. So let's go straight to the next one. So for us parents who are watching this, either you are here live or you are watching this after now, please, we are still appealing to you to take this bold step to join the paid premium community. Because what we do here now that you so much value is not up to 10% of what is happening in the paid community. For instance, by next week, we are reviewing a book together as parents. By next week, we are having a session for parents, what we titled The Algorithm of a Wealthy Family. Because this is not a community just for children. It's a community with the children in mind, but the parents as a vehicle. We recommend videos for ourselves every week to watch. We read at least one financial article a week or a month. Then we have a replay of all of these free sessions, because some of these free sessions will no longer be available to the free classes very soon. Then, of course, discount to paid sessions and courses that will be coming all week. Discounts to all our financial parenting products and consultation for parents on their family finance. Some of us really need to sit down. We're going to give you some templates that can help you really put your family finance in shape. You know, all of these are available to parents in the paid community. And we're going to be doing a lot of things together between us and our children, you know, physically and virtually. So if you are not yet there, we recommend that you try to join us. So let's go to G. G is for goals, financial goals. There was a time I took time to ask myself, what is that principle of success that I know of that I've transcended all times? Is the principle of goal setting. Nothing happens by accident that is great. The only thing that happens when we do nothing is decadence. I was having a session with some people today physically, and I asked, if you buy land and you do not do anything in that land, when you come back there, will you see grass? And the answer is yes. That's weed, because you did not intentionally plant anything. But when you plant, even the weed will still grow side by side. But at the point of cultivation, you cut off the weeds. So when you don't have a goal, you are like a man that have a land but refuse to plant nothing. And you are just hoping that things will fall in place. A lot of us believers are most faulty in this because we use that notion, God is my provider, God will take care of things. God is your provider. These principles we're talking about are the principles of God. If you don't live by these principles, you will get the crumb even from your own father. Because see, God has an ultimate agenda, not to just keep giving you crumbs. God wants to walk with you to a stage where when somebody else is praying for a miracle, God will nudge you to send that person help. So if all you are enjoying from God is to keep receiving peanuts, no matter how much it is, as miracle, you are still not at your best. It could be peanuts as good as cars. It's still peanuts. God's agenda for you is that walk with him until you are able to begin to give those things out. So that somebody is thanking God, somebody is sharing testimony in church because of you. And for you to function with God at that level, parents and children, you must have financial goals. See, I found that this financial goal is not only magical, it's miraculous. It's miraculous. And a goal must be written down. It's a destination and a plan to get there. A financial goal is a destination documented and the plans to get there. A man that does not have a destination, everywhere he gets to look like he has arrived. If your financial goal is to have, if for instance your financial goal is to have ₦1 million in your account, when you have 200,000, you will not be celebrating. When you have 500,000, you will not be celebrating. But someone who doesn't have a goal, when he have 300,000, he will call his friends, say, let's go and enjoy. That's one thing that goals do for you as children. So write it. I called my children at the beginning of the year when we were setting our goals. I asked all of them, how much do you want to have in your accounts at the end of this year? They all said it. Recently, I think I have shared this in our previous class. I first did his graduation. I snapped his picture, posted it online. He has a certain amount already in his account. Someone who saw it just chatted me up. Send me Bishop account number. I did. And he sent him some money. That money that he sent helped Bishop to meet his goal for the entire 2025. You see, so children, when you are setting goal at your age, don't think about how it's going to come to pass. That's none of your business. It's none of your business, but write it down. Stick it somewhere. Write it somewhere. By December 31st, 2025, Wisdom has so and so amount in his account. Write it there. I, Wisdom, has put the amount in my account at 31st December 2025. If you don't meet it, it's not a big deal. You are still better than 97% of human beings who do not have their goals written. When a goal is not written on paper, it's a wish. When a goal is not written on paper, it's a wish. So, children, your assignment from this class is to have a book of your goals. You can have your academic goals. What grade do you want to come out with in your mathematics, in your English, in your physics, in your chemistry, in your biology, in your... Write it down. It's a goal and map out the plans to get there. See, once you set a goal and present, the Bible said, make your plans, counting on God to direct your steps. How will God direct the step of somebody who does not have a plan? It's our responsibility. Proverbs 9 or thereabout says it is the responsibility of man to plan and the responsibility of God to guide him. So it's your responsibility to document your plan. That has nothing to do with God. So for us as believers, we plan with the guidance of God. You must have, God, what is the purpose that you created me? What's the reason why you created me? On the basis of that, you make out your plans. But bringing it back to finance, have your financial goal written out somewhere, paste it somewhere that you can see it always. Paste it somewhere that you can see it always. Are we together, children? Are we together? Hope I'm not talking to myself.
We are here, sir.
Awesome. Thank you.
We are here, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So parents, please help your children to implement this. In this community, we are going to be rewarding compliance. We are going to be rewarded. Even if we don't, life itself will reward compliance. So please get your children to constantly engage with this conversation. So financial goal, there's a long-term goal and there's a short-term goal. Short-term goals needs like budgeting and saving for emergencies to long-term aspirations such as retirement planning. For some of us, our parents work with government and government have a plan for their retirement. Even if you work for yourself, call any of these banks, open what is called a retirement savings account. Let a portion of your earnings go to that retirement savings account. Even as a private business, you can do that for yourself. That's a long-term plan. A short-term plan is any financial plan that is within 1 year. Any financial plan that is within 1 year is a short-term plan. Any financial plan that is above 1 year, 5 years, aspiration and all of that is a long-term plan. But both of them are necessary for anybody that needs a blissful financial future. So I think with that, we'll get into H. I'm going to take H from two different perspectives. Health. We'll focus on financial health. But I want to just talk about health itself, your physical health. You know, we've heard the word before, health is wealth. If you see the picture we have there, is wealth turned to health, health turned to wealth. It takes a man that is healthy to be able to earn money before you can start thinking of saving and generating and multiplying money. So it is important that we prioritize our health. I read this book recently by Femi Otedola. He talked extensively about the value he has for his health. This morning during our morning devotion, my wife was just emphasizing on the need to take care of your body. Your body is the temple of God. Your body is your house on earth rather. Your body is your house on earth. The same way you will not leave your house unkept. Please take good care of your body. You need to be healthy. Children, when daddy say no, you don't need that food, you don't need that snack, you don't need that, sometimes understand your daddies, your mommies, they are talking from the place of health. I share this often with young people. Children eat because of taste. Children will always like things that are tasting good. But adults eat because of knowledge. That's why children, sometimes you see that when your daddies, your mommy wants to take medicine, nobody forces them, they take it. Why? Because they understand that they need their heads to be restored. But when they want to give you medicine, sometimes they will have to They will have to put different things to ensure that you follow through. Why? Because you are still children. You rather think of things that even medicine, even pharmaceuticals, they make children medicine, they coat it with something sweet. But the truth is, the most healthy things are not necessarily sweet. That's why parents can match bitter leaf. Match bitter leaf, press it, turn it to water and drink it. It is bitter, it doesn't taste fine. It is bitter, but they are drinking it. Why? Health. Most of you children would rather want to take pineapple than watermelon. Why? Pineapple is sweet. Watermelon is not sweet. But parents will eat whatever. Why? They are thinking health. So outside of your health, I want to now talk about financial health. I've talked about your personal health. Now I want to talk about your financial health. Personal health and financial health involves a holistic approach focusing on physical and mental well-being, can improve productivity. If you are not physically healthy, if you are not mentally stable, your productivity, even at work, even in school as children, will drop. So it is necessary that you prioritize your health. When you're thinking, that's why it is not advisable to compromise your health to make money. Why will you punish yourself to make money, take part of the money to go and treat yourself? It's not necessary. Because even when you treat yourself, sometimes some ailments will not go entirely. So it's better avoided. That's why as children, as adults, this goes for all of us. Sleep well. Sleep well. Sleep well. There was a day I posted it when I began to learn about this. I posted it on social media. I said, the longer you sleep, the longer your lifespan. Somebody wrote on that, I say, I know that a lot of Nigerians will like these quotes because they like to sleep a lot. We've heard very successful people say things like, I only sleep 3 hours a day. I only sleep 5 hours a day. Please, structure your time properly. Give time and focus to your work, but ensure you have enough time to sleep. Ensure that you have enough time to sleep. I told somebody, I said, sleeping is a productive activity. You know why? When you wake up from sleep, all your energy is restored. Sleep is actually that time that your brain have to rejuvenate. Every time you are awake, your brain, your body, all of them are actively engaged. So when you sleep, they have time to recuperate. So imagine when you are cutting them short. you are hurting yourself. Your productivity, your earning capacity is dropped, is reduced because you are not taking care of your health. Of course, when you take care of your health, it improves your productivity, and it also affects your decision making. There's what is called decision making fatigue. So when you have time to take care of your health, you are able to make sharp decisions, and all of this positively impact on your financial choices. You can't make a financial decision when you are fatigued, when you are tired, when you are stressed out. Such decisions will always be wrong. So finally, when we say someone is financially healthy, I think this is an error, it's repeating. When we say someone is financially healthy, what do we mean? The person never compromises his health to gain wealth. Say that person is financially healthy. The person, sorry about that. I already admonished you. I said never compromise your health to gain wealth. Then these are signs of a financially healthy person. The person spends less than they earn. The person practices frugality. Don't buy things because every other person is buying it. If there's anything I have tried to master, is the fact that I don't want to do what is trendy. It's intentional. I don't want to do what is trendy. Even when it comes to clothes, just give me the clothes that fits me. Once it fits me, I'm okay. I don't care what is in vogue. It's intentional. Because what is in vogue quickly get out of vogue. Another thing gets in vogue, and you're not just running around just do what. Someone who is financially healthy spend less than they earn. They have savings, they have investments, they pay their bills on time, and they are without stress. They give to the needy. You are not financially healthy if you are always the one asking for help. If you are always the needy, you are not financially healthy. That is not God's best position for you. That could be where you are now. It's not a big deal. But understand, the first day you understand that where I am now is not the best place for me, you begin to walk out of it. But if you think that what is normal now, what's wrong with it? You will never try to walk out of it. So I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to guide us through EFGH. So now if we have questions, we'll be willing to take it before we wrap this up. We've spent close to 1 hour, and I don't want us to spend so much time, much more than that. All right, do we have questions? If we have questions, let's quickly take them, especially as it relates to this 4-part series that we have done. Do we have questions, clarifications? So for you parents who will be watching this, before we go, I'd like to give you the opportunity once again to consider joining us. Consider joining us. Let me play this video for us one more time before we call it a day. It's important that we do this, not just for ourselves, but for our children. And I'm very happy. I posted something on the group just now, a conversation between a mother and a son who is just barely 5 years old. Okay, thank you. I think with this we are good to go. So we will share the replay for us to watch because we are still starting and still trying to build a community. We that are yet to join the paid community, you are still able to watch the replay. But after a while, you may not be able to watch the replay except you commit to joining the community. So let's take the conversation back to the WhatsApp community. Thank you. Let me stop recording.